San Gregorio, Pescadero, Purísima. These are just a few of the creeks flowing across Midpen lands, and they're the lifeblood of the region.
These lands are incredibly essential for our water supply and for the health and well-being of this area.
From the ridgelines that frame them to the deep pools that empty into the ocean, these waters support wildlife, agriculture, and us. Maintaining the health of these watersheds is an important part of Midpen's mission.
We really are doing an amazing thing by preserving these lands in perpetuity, and it's amazing that we're able to not only do that, but also open them up in an ecologically sensitive way where folks can see them and interact with these environments in a way that will allow them to continue into the future.
The concept of a healthy watershed starts at the summit, because everything that happens at the summit has an impact downstream eventually.
The more land we preserve and restore ends up being really beneficial for a range of both ecosystem functions and societal needs.
Balancing these many needs is a significant and ongoing challenge for Midpen.
There's care and purpose to everything that our staff bring to the land, because our intention, our goal is to leave the land healthier than it was when we first received it.
When Midpen purchased what is now El Corte de Madera Creek Preserve, nearly 3,000 acres in the upper headwaters of the San Gregorio Creek watershed, they inherited land that had been carved up with a web of decrepit logging roads and was littered with trash.
When we are able to acquire a new piece, we look carefully, how can we restore this to really start to bring back the health and well-being of that land?
Midpen planners staked out new trails that naturally contoured with the hillsides, and crews decommissioned old logging roads and turned them into gently sloping trails.
One of the more important aspects of trail design is putting those undulating ups and downs into the trail so that the water is not causing the problems that it had in the past.
The newly formed trails allow all of us to explore this recovering forest land without causing erosion or silting up the creeks and streams downslope.
Now the logging roads look like the natural topography. Of all the projects I do, it's one of the most satisfying ones because you're taking these like really terrible roads out of a watershed that needs all the help it can get.
It's testament to what can be done after you've inherited a mess of legacy logging roads. It took a long time and it took a lot of funding, but in the end, I think everybody agrees that it's worth it, and the fish downstream are very happy.
Another important Midpen restoration project is in Coal Creek Preserve, just above the community of Portola Valley. It features a major regional trail connection that leads from the valley floor to the top of the ridge. But after decades of use, the trail bed and culverts failed, eroding the hillside and clogging the creek below with sediment.
There was water filling it all up and the roadway just washing it all out, so it's a big ravine. And what we hope to do is oversize the culvert and replace it with something brand new. We hope to improve the health of our watersheds here by addressing the sedimentation and keeping the trail in as good of a condition as possible.
With the new culvert installed, Midpen narrowed the gash and reopened this popular trail once again.
What excites me most about this project is creating safe, open space access for more users. I think that with the improvements we're going to make, we can open up this more safely for more people to enjoy, and it will lend to the longevity of the road and the trail.
Enhancing these trails and the overall health of nearby watersheds also sets the stage for salmon and trout to return and thrive.
The San Gregorio Creek watershed and other watersheds throughout the San Mateo County coast are critical habitat for anadromous fish species like steelhead trout and coho salmon. And our goal is to restore watershed function and ecological processes that will enable the recovery of those types of species.
These fish have been absent from local creeks for generations. Now Midpen and one of its public partners, the Resource Conservation District of San Mateo County, known as the RCD, are working to reestablish healthy fish populations here once again.
The only reason that their populations have dwindled is because of us. And so it's our responsibility to bring them back from the brink of extinction.
Near the town of La Honda, the partners are recreating natural salmon habitat by putting large logs into creeks to help stabilize the banks, slow down the water, and allow deep, cool pools to form, which salmon need to spawn.
It was thought for a very long time that wood in streams is bad, that it's a negative and we should be taking it out. And so it turns out that wood adds a really important complexity to stream systems that's been lost in historic times. And so by installing these large woody debris structures like the one behind me, we can recreate some of that complexity.
It is the culmination of well over 10 years, arguably 15 or 20 years of work to restore the watershed and to make conditions that are hospitable, habitable for the fish.
With the watershed on the road to recovery, the RCD and Midpen are reintroducing salmon and trout back into coastside waterways.
So not only do we have a responsibility to care for them, but we're also inspired to care for them because it's soulful, rewarding work.
Raised in a nearby hatchery, it's hoped that these fascinating but vulnerable fish will return regularly to this creek to give birth to many new generations. And by keeping these watersheds healthy, we can all thrive here, side by side, for years to come.